there is this something called as input. Okay, now if I just do this input, so what happens is basically Python prompts you to give certain input inside. So if I give this, it'll just print it out. So input takes a string as an input gives a string as an output. Now if I have to take out this thing, I mean if I just have to make it integer format, then I can just put it like this. Okay, now if I'll run it, now if I'll give some value inside it, it will print it out as an integer. Okay, so earlier what was happening when I was not using int, if I was giving some value inside it, it was putting single quotes around it, basically saying that it is, you know, a kind of a string. So this concept you will basically see in HackerRank challenges. So let's say this particular challenge, if I take it out. Okay, so there is one question is, so the list, range, sets, etc. conceptually are great. In applications, how are they used? Which one is used extensively? So extensively, list is used because because sets have a drawback that they are unindexed. So you cannot assess the different items using indexes, right? So that is one drawback of sets. Then you have range. Range is also used a lot actually because you can give a values from a particular number till some another number. But lists are most extensively used because you can put different strings inside them. You can add multiple data types inside them, and lists are again, you can while you're using data science and machine learning, you use data frame, pandas data frame. So inside that also you can use multiple times different lists. You can add it as a column as well. So lists are the most extensively used ones, at least in data science and machine learning. But yeah, like for other purposes, tuples and dictionaries are also used. Let's say for development purposes and all. So yeah, what here we are doing is we are just trying to do a division. Okay, so this, like, the answer to this is simple. Also, one thing I wanted you to guys to know is that okay, what I wanted you guys to know is that this one here, sometimes you by default it selects any of these. You have to select Python 3 here so that your whatever you have learned it, you are easily able to apply it, because Python 2 and all are like previous versions. But go on with Python 3. So what we have to do here is simple: print a/b, and it should give us the division of the float division of it. It has given it here. Like if you want an integer division, then do a/b. If you want a float division, then use a/b. So like in our simple case, we have this x and this y. If I just use x/y, it'll just give me 1.0. It's a float value. If I use double slash, then it'll just give me an integer value like this. The concept I want guys, I wanted you guys to understand is this particular one, why they have used if name equal to main here. So what happens is, name is just a variable, okay, and one concept you should understand is module. Now a module is just a code. It's a kind of code which can be called using Python, and Python saves all these modules with a .py format. Okay, now it can have functions, it can have variables. You can give it any name. Let's say, okay, let me give a simple name, rf. Let's say rf is your name of the module. Okay, now there are two ways that you can use it. Either you can directly run using a script, running a script like this. Okay, you can run it like this directly. It will basically run a module. You just have to put it inside your terminal or your command prompt, or basically you're inside your Python. And otherwise, if you want to, if you are just basically running it as a script, then its name gets set to this particular function. Okay, main function. So by checking this particular value, you can easily run this piece of code. Okay, and why HackerRank is using it, it is directly submitting it, right? So that is why it is just giving it here, so that it doesn't get assigned to a different module name. Okay, it automatically gets assigned to this one only, and whatever code is here, it gets executed. Okay, so if this has to be run as a script, then you need to use if name equal to man, and it is not something which is extensively used, but since it was getting used in HackerRank, so I just wanted to explain it, like why they are using it, right? It's just necessary for running this script directly outside of the library it belongs to. Okay, so yeah, this is the if name equal to main concept. Then what else is remaining? Anything else? Loops we have covered, functions was also covered, if else we have covered, range also we have covered. There is something called arrays. Let's see if we have arrays here, if they have covered arrays. Okay, so they haven't covered arrays here, but let's say if we have this list, okay, and arrays take like numeric, uh, but they take a single data type. Like you have list and you have multiple data types here, right, inside a list. So let me just run this. But your arrays, they will take a particular data type. Either all of the things will be string or all of the things will be like numeric. So just put it like 0 to 4. Okay. So if I just run this part, now this is my list. If I just take out type of it, it is just a list. But let's see if I want to create an array. So there is a library NumPy, which is helpful to use arrays inside Python. Inbuilt, you do not have any functionality to use. In inbuilt, you do not have an array data type in Python, but you can define it using NumPy library. So I just,
Hello, Praful. Praful.
yeah.
I'm little bit confused in one concept that
Mm-hmm.
zeros column 4. So
Mm-hmm.
what actually it gives is a starting point 0 and 4 is a end point, or
Correct,
it gives
correct.
a
This is the index, right? So indexing always starts from 0. So this is the starting point I'm taking. Then 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the ending point. So it this particular point, it will not include in the output. It is just given as a whatever point we give it here, right? Whatever value that we give it here, it
uh,
does not get included. That particular index will not get included. So the indexes which will get included are 0, 1, 2, 3. So until this, it's like that, but exclusive of this. So it will include 0th index, first index, second index, and third index. The fourth index it won't include.
okay, means -1, like that. Means, last one
Correct,
-1.
correct. Last one -1.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was talking about arrays, and this I can just import the library here, and I'll just write numpy.array. And inside this, I can just give value of x, and if I run it and if I just print it, it has made it into a kind of array. So arrays and lists, the basic difference is that arrays are they can only hold the values of same data type, and it can be integers or it can be floats or strings. Then arrays are helpful because they allow like sequential access or direct access to whatever elements are there randomly. But if you look at list, it only allows a sequential access to it. So this is one advantage which might be helpful in certain cases. So yeah, these are the concepts which were covered and different exercises which were there. So I think you would have had a basic understanding about it. There are certain additional tutorials also which I have given in, like what is the difference between an array and a list. So you can probably read through them. let's say for loops also or for functions also, there are certain tutorials. So the ideal way of going is, I would suggest that whenever a particular day's exercise are posted, just go through the basic theory, whatever is given, then just go through whatever links are there if you're not able to understand it from the basic theory, and then just try to attempt whatever these challenges are. So HackerRank has some, you'll find HackerRank a little bit tougher if you're just starting out, at least after a few challenges. But you can try Adabit. Adabit is also good. Adabit has a lot of challenges. Like HackerRank has somewhere around 115 challenges, but Adabit has around 1500 challenges. So if you want to go slowly like that, then you can probably use Adabit. So you can write your code here. What it is asking for is create a function that takes number as an argument, increments the number by +1, returns the result. Okay, so here it is taking num as an argument and then increments the number by 1 and then it returns the result. So you can just probably write what are those sites mainly for. I'm new to Adabit and HackerRank. What are those sites mainly for? So these sites are mainly for just solving challenges. This just solving Python exercises and Python challenges. So if you learned the basics, you can go on learning the basics and then you can just solve these challenges on from these particular websites. So something like this. It'll just add on a number to it and it will just return whatever the result is there. Then it has, if you get stuck on a challenge, you can find the resources in this resources tab. Then you can find the solutions here. I think for solutions you might have to check and all, but the resources you can find out here, whatever resources that they have given. For solutions, I think, okay, yeah, I mean, they have some concept of XP or something. So see, like different people have given different solutions. So this is the kind of solutions which we did. We just used directly return and inside that we directly use this. So you can step by step write a line of code and then you can directly use it, or you can directly add those different lines of codes together once you've written them. Like for simplification, you just write them line by line and then you can directly use them. Like the way they have written here is right. We have directly used it in the this one. So this is num, right? So this one will be num. And again, as you can see, there are multiple solutions to this. End num +1, return num +1, these ones. So yeah, these, if you guys haven't done these challenges, then I would suggest that to go through these challenges. This particular classes we would mostly will be having every Saturday, and whatever, if any particular exercise you are finding very tough, you guys can ask in this particular classes, or any particular concept if you're finding tough, you can ask during these classes, right? And if you're not able to attend classes, this particular one, then also it's fine. There are doubt groups, so you can ask your doubts there, or you can, what if you're missing this particular session, then also you don't need to worry, because this I'll be posting after the session, because this is getting recorded, so I'll be posting it after the session in the WhatsApp group itself. Okay, so any questions before we close the session for today?
Praful,
Yeah.
I want some help, not related to this Python, but in data science.
Okay.
From where I can find the research paper or the project like
Research project. What do you say?
research paper related to machine learning and data science.
Okay. Okay. So research paper you want? I mean, for which particular topic? I mean, there are a lot of
Huh.
research papers, but
Huh.
there'll be a
I want
particular topic.
in power and energy sectors
Okay, okay, got it. Power and energy sector.
and project related to that.
See, the best method I will say that is Kaggle for data science and machine learning, right? Kaggle is the best platform, and here you can
Huh.
just go on and you can have whatever particular problem is there, right? You can for
But
the research,
the
yeah.
no. Tell.
So here you can find energy prediction and then consumption of energy. These kind of analysis and these kind of already done notebooks you can find here. You can filter it also out also here. The research papers I'll help you out with. Research papers I'll try to figure out some links and I'll try to help you out with that. But
Okay.
with respect to the analysis which are already happened, data and in say, data science and machine learning, I would say Kaggle is the best platform to go around with that. Okay.
Okay. I didn't use Kaggle now,
Okay.
mm, but what is a yeah? How to use Kaggle? Means where is the problem and where is the solution?
Okay. Okay. So let's say this particular. So there are just notebooks in Kaggle. Okay. So
Okay.
how to use it is they will give a data source of it. They will give this particular link also she has given, and
Okay.
this is the solution. Like this is the code that they are using. They are first importing this data, then they're just doing some operations around it. They have given explanations also, like what is the meaning of interchange, what is the meaning of demand. So here what they do is they define the problem, like this is the project overview, and then they go on solving it using different codes. You inside Kaggle only you have these codes, so you can probably
Okay.
refer these to solve your specific problem.
And what is a but what is a problem? This is a solution now. But where I can find a problem? Is there is a specific problem? Then I can go with that data and solve this problem.
So here, usually in the starting, they would have given this particular problem. Like we are
Okay.
conducting an
Okay.
exploration of this and this one. Otherwise, here also you can find this is the problem: consistent energy debt, America's unequal power. So
Okay.
these are their sources. So for one problem, you will find a lot of different notebooks that people would have uploaded, and
Notebook
then
means
notebook means this one only. What I'm saying, right? This
okay.
basically their solutions.
Okay.
Yeah, so for every
Okay.
single problem you'll find like multiple solutions that people would have uploaded, and then you can try to see if one solution you are able to understand or not. Then you can look at other solution, so something like that.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
cool. Cool. So just ping me on WhatsApp, okay? And I'll just give me your email ID, and I'll whenever I'll be able to, I'll just share you the research this thing links.
Okay.
Okay. Then one question is there, in Python there are lots of libraries and syntaxes for different functions. So how can one remember all of these? So there are two things. One is that these libraries and syntaxes you don't really have to remember, and whatever their functionality is. Let's say if I have this, I have this append. Okay, this is some kind of a method. So I can use shift tab. Now what this shift tab does is it gives different details about it. Okay, so it is giving like x.append. Docstring is it, what it does, it appends object to the end of the list. So using shift.tab you can figure out what exactly is happening in this particular one, right? Or let's say you have this type. So what does type gives it you just give it a value and it prints the value to a stream, or you can give it's a built-in function. So you can find all the details here itself in it. So what I'm using is basically shift plus tab. Okay, or let's say if I'm just giving this range x equal to this, so if I press tab here, Python starts giving certain suggestions around it, like this. For this, what all different different ones are there: count, index, start, step, stop. Similarly, let's see if I define this list. Now this list, if I do dot, it will give different operations of a list, like append, clear, copy, count, all of these. Okay. If I just click on, if I just do shift tab on this, it is giving its type is list, its string form is this, length is this. Again, if I just extend it, it is a built-in mutable sequence. If no argument is given, the construction creates a new empty list. All those details. So this I'm doing using shift tab. And if I want to know different methods or different function inbuilt to a list, I'll just do tab and it will give me this. Okay. So you can use this. You don't really have to remember here itself. You can, like do shift tab and you will be able to figure out everything.